How do you build a successful multiplayer video game in a saturated market and charge only half the price? And how do you do it during the slowest season of the video game industry, in the dead hot heat of summer? Today I'm going to present the facts for Lawbreakers to answer the hard question: did it fail? Lawbreakers is a multiplayer hero shooter, a spin-off from the team-based FPS mother genre. Without a question, it's these games that have been the flavor of the month for a while now. But they've got some stiff competition, don't they? Battlefield monopolizes Total War and squads. Call of Duty took the fast-paced, low skill floor market, and Counter-Strike and TF2 grabbed the Steam and esports scene. Aside from your odd, mildly successful arena shooter or Halo on Xbox, that's pretty much it for online first-person shooters. But then came Overwatch in 2016. It wasn't the first team-based hero shooter, definitely not, but it certainly is the name associated with it. 10 million beta players and 30 million current players. The game that dominated the online scene and forced Battleborn to slash its price by $20 a day came out. One of the most played games on the market, built by one of the biggest companies out there. Lawbreakers, whether it wants to admit it or not, is battling for the same player as Overwatch or any fan of hero-based shooters. There's a lot of games out there competing right now with Lawbreakers, and the only silver lining is that Lawbreakers is a mashup of a hero-based and an arena shooting game, so it definitely has the potential to bring in a good amount of players from different crowds. But did it actually succeed doing so? Lawbreakers had a good reveal. We all saw this trailer back in 2015. It certainly looked fun, had great movement, and was class-based. Class-based shooters are great for marketing because people can latch on to certain characters if they identify with them. So many people were fairly excited about it to see what it was all about. But then the days started rolling by. You didn't see media outlets going crazy over Lawbreakers or hyping it up that much all prior to release. The various betas went over pretty smoothly, yet fairly quietly, and the buzz just wasn't exactly there. So why wasn't anyone talking about Lawbreakers? Well, number one, the betas and the August 8th release date of Lawbreakers were during the summertime when people were out and about actually doing things. Why do you think we don't see very many popular AAA games come out from July to September? No people, no revenue. It's basic marketing 101. It's tempting for mid-level or indie games to release when other games are not coming out, but if there are no buyers lined up, it's not really smart in the end. Lawbreakers may have stumbled into this trap. Secondly, Lawbreakers is a $30 game. There's no getting past it. Full-priced AAA games get more hype across the board than mid-level or indie games. The higher the cost, the more excited people are because there are more expectations with higher-priced games. And third, Lawbreakers came out a year and a half after Overwatch. While not identical, they do share many common traits. Those burnt out after Overwatch's honeymoon period probably weren't too eager to jump back into another similar game, especially when there are tons of hero-based shooters out there, and especially a half-priced game that has the potential for a very quick price drop. In the end, Lawbreakers was embraced by the Steam community fairly well, yet met with mixed reviews overall from the press and players on the PlayStation 4. But keep in mind, this is a very small amount of people. The gameplay was praised and it was fun, yet the level design, unlikable characters, and the terrible performance for PlayStation 4 owners were heavily criticized. Lawbreakers was initially announced as a free-to-play game, but then flipped a 180 before launching. While it may have caused a few people to stray away from it, price has no bearing on how many units a game can sell, or how many people play the game on a daily basis. Games like Minecraft, Stardew Valley, and Team Fortress 2, they all prove this, don't they? So what about Lawbreakers? Lawbreakers has sold very, very poorly, yet no one seems to be too surprised about it. To date, Lawbreakers has one of the lowest growth rates for a mid-level game in recent memory. There are also less than 60,000 registered Steam owners, an extremely low number. Worse, Lawbreakers did not have an explosive launch nor boom in sales in the days following its launch. This data meshes very well with the concurrent player counts as well. Currently, Lawbreakers has less than 1,000 daily players on each platform. And looking at the peak player counts from other first-person shooters on offer, Lawbreakers is looking to be in some serious trouble. This is what Lawbreakers is up against, regardless of price point. This video has presented the facts with Lawbreakers. It sold poorly, has very few players, and even fewer people talking about it. That is the data. And if a game doesn't sell well, on average, that means less support and potential content that's going to be offered into the future, on average. But on a personal level, I do think Lawbreakers is pretty fun. But the game needed better tutorials to explain all of its gameplay systems, levels that didn't just feel like one-size-fits-all square boxes for every mode, and more relatable characters. It needed more to differentiate itself than just the anti-gravity mechanic. It needed less competition, better marketing, and a smarter release date. The makers of Lawbreakers may have stated that they are in for the long run, but we all know that most video game sales happen within the first week of the launch. Having a huge resurgence of players is akin to seeing a UFO. Rainbow Six Siege and a few others are 1 in a million games. So Lawbreakers has got to be one of the weirdest stories in gaming this year. No one talked about it, barely anyone reviewed it, press or user, and no one's playing it. It just seems like another game that's going to be quietly fading away and forgotten much too soon. If not for the fact that Lawbreakers wasn't able to shake the Overwatch stigma attached to it, then it was the fact that it got swallowed up by the no man's land of gaming. The not a good time to be putting out a game that needed better marketing summer season. Thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to support Downward Thrust and my fights against YouTube's demonetization rampage lately, please subscribe and consider donating $1 or $2 to my Patreon at patreon.com/downwardthrust. It helps more than you know. Have a super duper awesome day, and we'll see you in our next video.